to another episode of the New Money Fight Club. Today, we are coming at you from Hayward, California, a small town in the East Bay of the San Francisco Bay Area, where we are joined now with Robert Osario, the owner of the Osario Training Center. It's a well-known boxing gym here in the East Bay, and he's got a lot of big things planned, and it's great to catch up with you. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. Yep.
Well, first thing before we jump in, I just have to say that being in this gym takes me back because I used to train here at the MMA gym that we used to be here. It was Bay MMA.
Yep.
So coming here, it was much bigger. They had the wall.
That wall was gone right there. That one was gone. Yep.
So it takes me back.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Exciting. We've been through a lot. We've been here for 3 years now.
Okay. And you said 3 years today.
Today is our anniversary. Yeah, 3 years today. So, a lot of exciting times. When we first started, we didn't think we were going to make it. We struggled for the first year. We had COVID, and I had gone through some personal stuff. My wife got real ill the day that I opened this place, and I wasn't able to make it in here for the first 3 months. But we've made it. The gym keeps going. 3 years later, fast forward, we're about to move into a way bigger building. We're gonna our size is going to go 10 times over. We currently have a 1,500 square building, and we're going to have 18,000 square building. So, we're very excited.
Yeah, right across the street, right here. Yeah, we can see it out the window here.
Yeah.
Let me go back for a second because, you covered a lot of ground there 3 years ago. And on that day, you said your wife got sick the day you moved into this place?
The day I moved into this place, my wife shot a video of me in front. She was really proud of me. She's the one who encouraged me to do this. She wanted me to work with my son, who's also a fighter. And, she was like, the deal was she was going to keep working. I was going to do this, start my thing. And on the day that we opened the door, she had a stroke that day. She had a stroke. She, she died and came back. And then, I was with her for the first 3 months this gym was open. I was at her bedside. I never left her, and, she had to go through a lot of rehab, and she came back. And, currently, like right now, that's the dream is, to just kind of show her everything we've built, because she hasn't been able to partner with me as much as we want to, but she's always been a part of it. Like I always tell her, this is our gym. So it's exciting. I can't wait to take her over there, and show her what we built. So
it's like when a gym is just opening, usually there's a lot of construction going on and stuff. So you weren't present.
I couldn't do anything. So it was a cool story about that is while I was at the hospital, my son, my nephew, a lot of my fighters, they came. They brought in all the bags. They brought in the ring. They built the ring for me. They rolled out the floors. This mural that you guys see behind you, this was done by one of my tattoo artists. She's like a daughter for me. She came and painted all that. And all that was while my wife was in the hospital. So, I came in here and I'm very emotional about this, because this was built by a community and now I'm able to give back to them and build a gym for them across the street, So very exciting, very exciting. This gym has a lot of history in it,
How is your wife doing now, by the way?
Much better. My wife's much better. Now she's enjoying everything. Now she just gets spoiled. She's on the good side of it. So yeah.
That's good to hear. Yeah. So how did before you even started this gym, how did you even get into the sport, into this business?
So funny, right? Because I talk to my wife a lot. But it started with my wife. When I was a little kid, I used to get in a lot of trouble. Yeah. And one of my teachers, he took me down to a boxing gym in San Francisco because he was tired of seeing me getting in fights at school. He realized that I was a good kid. I was just mixed up with the bad people. And he put me in a gym. And that's how I started boxing. But, right when I started making it, I became, I was like a regional champion.
Okay.
And right then, I was 15. My girlfriend was 14. My wife, she's my wife now, but I got her pregnant. Mm-hmm. And, so I had to give up boxing. I had to start working at a young age and all that, but I never let it go, Yeah. And so, I would train my little brother out of my house, and my little brother made it to the Olympic trials. He was on Team USA with, I have a picture of him with Dale Corrales, all on the same team and all that. And then, I trained him, and I tried to open a gym when I was 21 years old. I tried to open a gym out in Hayward, and, I tried to get a lot of people behind me, but it didn't stick. So fast forward 20, 30 years, I'm working, I've made a lot of money now. And my wife brings it up again because my son is a fighter, and she brings it up. She goes, babe, what if you just quit your job? We make enough money. Mm-hmm. She goes, what about if you quit your job and you just start training Sal? And, after some thinking about it, I said, that would be a dream of mine. Why not? And we did it. And, that's where it started. I started actually in my garage. Mm-hmm. I have just 5 wrestling pads there, and that's where I would train my son, and we would go from there. And, when I opened this gym, this was this is bigger than anything I could ever imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And the one we're going to across the street is just like I was telling Steve, you know, it's really a miracle how we got over there. You know, it's just a really cool story because the whole community is behind us now.
Right.
So,
what
yeah.
did you do in between? You know, since you were 21 until now, what was your main job?
So I was a store manager. So I used to manage store manager at Safeway.
Okay.
And I became one of the top store managers at Safeway. I was very highly recruited. And then Target came and recruited me. I went over to Target and spent 20 years with Target.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was at Target, I became one of the top store managers. I became one of the main trainers. And, you know, a couple of the vice presidents that were sitting on the board when I left the company, they had trained under me. So, you know, I was well known at Target. And everything that I did at Target was about developing leaders,
mm-hmm.
which is what kind of brought me here. Because even though I run a boxing gym, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help these kids. You know, my main goal is to get these kids off the street. I told you the story about when I was a kid and, you know, I got my girlfriend at the time, you know, pregnant, right? And it was my coach who came in the locker room and he saw me crying in there. And he was like, you know, what's wrong? And I told him, and when I told him the story, you know, this was a coach who really cared about me. You know, he was really good to me, you know, and I remember, I'll never forget, he started packing all my stuff. And I was like, what are you doing? And, you know, I remember when he told me, he goes, well, you created a life now.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, and now it's time to take care of that life. He goes, you're not a child anymore. He goes, you're a man. And, you know, and he goes, this is a hobby for you now. He goes, but what your life needs to be is about that child. And, you know, and I took that, you know, I really took that and, you know, it meant something to me, you know, because, you know, I did the right thing. You know, I'm with my wife. We've been together for 45 years now, you know, and, you know, I remember that was a turning point in my life, that at a boxing gym, I got that mentorship. And that's what I want to do here. You know, I take this as an opportunity to mentor these kids because there's a lot of kids who, you know, they won't make it to a baseball field. They won't make it on a basketball court. They won't make it because, you know, it's hard for them to get there. But they see a boxing gym and they walk in here. Yeah. And once I got them in here, I can talk to them. Once I got them in here, I can mentor them. You know, I came from the streets. I've been out there. I've done all that, you know. And my goal is to give them something different, you know, give them a different alternative, right? You know, I have people coming in here all the time. You know, you see the famous videos of guys who walk into gyms and junk. That's happened to me 1,000 times. And I always tell them, you know, I always tell them the same thing. I go, look, dude, if we go outside in the streets, I go, I'll probably last 15 seconds with you before you mop the floor with me.
Yeah.
But if you walk in here, I'm going to beat you 10 out of 10 times. Right. 10 out of 10 times. I go, it's a different sport, you know? And I always try to teach these guys that, you know, like what they taught me at that gym. Street fighting is different. Street fighting, you're not as tough as you think out there. You know, street fighters come in here and they got nothing for us, right? And this is an art. It's a discipline. It's something beautiful. And in that, I can get these kids and I can capture them, you know? What we have planned across the street, you know, there's so many different activities for them over there. You know, the reason that I love that gym is because I want to eventually turn it into a boys and girls club.
Okay.
But not in the old way where it was different workshops and all that. I'll have different things for them. I'll have, you know, boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, weightlifting, photography. You know, they can paint murals over there. I have 100 feet of wall where I want to get local artists to come in there and paint their murals and have an opportunity to become immortal. You know, so I'm trying to give back to the community. The more that the community feels that this is their gym, the more they'll protect it.
Right.
You know, and I know that for a fact because when I first got here, we had a lot of homelessness. We still do. We still have a ton of homeless, but there was a lot of crime over here. And people were breaking into buildings all the time. And, you know, and one of the big things about me is I like to treat people like people. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't care if they're homeless or not. They're still people. You can say hello to them. You offer them water if they're thing. And what's happening is, like, you know, like all my kids know that we treat the homeless well here. You know, we take care of them. You know, we collect clothes from them. We do whatever we want. And I'm not saying that so I can be a saint or nothing like that. What I'm trying to prove is that when you treat people well, they'll treat you bad. They'll treat you well back. Mm-hmm. And I am, you know, knock on wood, they've never broken one of my windows. They've never stolen anything. I've never had a scene in my building, you know. Sometimes they'll get a little wild, but, you know, but I always talk to them like people. And that's what I want to do is I'm showing my kids now how to do that. You know, I'm showing my kids how to treat people, you know, how to treat people well because they don't know how to function in society. They don't. No one teaches us out in the street. You know, in fact, well, I'm wrong about that. The street does teach us how to do it, but they teach us the wrong way to do it.
Right.
You know, I want to give them an alternative. I always tell my kids, when you fight in here, you're safe. And, you know, people don't understand that, right? Safety, right? Well, you're safe because you're in between there's ropes. There's a coach on each corner. There's a referee in the middle. This is sanctioned. This is done the right way. So if you're angry, if you have problems, come on in here.
Yeah.
Come on in here. Hit the bag. I don't care. You can cry. I've had a lot of people cry on those bags, you know? But that's what they're for because you will never get in trouble by hitting these bags.
Well, I mean, we've talked to quite a few fighters now, and one thing that is recurring is that they have that mentor, at least one person in their life that was extremely important or extremely pivotal in a decision in their life. I mean, I think one fighter, he's now training in Thailand, Samraz, like he has a story about how he met his mentor at a construction site, and it was this person who was a catalyst for him turning around his life, and it seems like a recurring theme in
It's interesting too. It rang true to me what you were saying. You know, you got your girlfriend pregnant when you were young. I have a very similar story, although I was not in martial arts and I was 18 and I didn't have like this role model to come in. A lot of times it's not your parents who can give you that advice. Right. It is a coach. It is a sensei. And so, to be available for the community like that, you're going to be able to affect many people in ways you don't even realize yet.
That's what we want to do. That's the main goal, is help these kids. You know, I was one of them. I grew up in the Mission down in the city. And, you know, and there was just nothing to offer out there, you know, like, you know, just the streets, and, you know, and you can either try to do it alone, you know, but you're fighting everyone. So, you know, we tend to, you know, go to groups, you know, with your gangs and stuff like that. This could, you know, like my dream is that we would have an event there every weekend to keep these kids busy, you know, like they would be like, what's happening at OTC? Let's go out there. Let's go see. There's a jiu-jitsu match this weekend. There's a kickboxing match this weekend. There's a bike show, whatever, you know. Just to get the kids, to give them a safe place to be, you know.
That's sort of the classic role of a boxing gym.
That's what it is.
Besides cranking out killers,
you know.
Yeah, you're that archetype. You know, there aren't so many places that are still fulfilling that. You know.
Well, what I liked about it is you mentioned, we're gonna do art there. We're gonna do other things. It's not just. It's like really like a boys and girls club. Come out, come hang out. Yes, we are training. There's boxing. There's all kinds of stuff, but there's also gonna be alternatives. I wonder if we're gonna start doing dancing and all.
So dancing, anything, because what I'm looking for is when I get over there, people are gonna come to me, and that's why I'm really excited about being on your podcast, because you know, as the more I get the message out there, the more people hear and they say I want to be part of it, right? And so, like, you know, I have people who make shirts, you know, and so, you know, in today's world, the reality is, you know, that working a job, I mean, you're struggling when you're working a job, right? So owning your business is something, you know, that at least for me as a kid, I always thought was well beyond my reach. I'm 58 years old right now, and I'm doing this, you know? I could have done this at 21, right? I want to teach these kids how to do this at a young age. So I have guys who print shirts who say they'll help me. They'll set up printers downstairs, and they'll teach these kids. So now we can teach them how to do something that they can go out and make money off themselves, right? I don't know if you heard when I was talking to this young man right here, Q, he painted a picture for me. I want to put his pictures on display. I want him to be able to sell his art at my gym.
So an artist, actually.
An artist, yes. I have artists. My tattoo artist who did this one. I want her to paint another mural. You know, I want them to be able to make their money. I want to make entrepreneurs out of there and teach these kids how to survive. You know, I'm 58 years old. You know, I want to retire in 10 years. But before I do, I want to make that a center that will last for the next 100 years for these kids. I want these kids to learn all their trades there. I want them to teach there. I want them to go from learning there and having been saved there to being a teacher there and giving back, you know?
And how was your experience, you know, through Safeway and Target all those years, like raising up leaders? Like, what are the specific skills now that you're able to transfer now as a gym owner, as a boxing coach?
You know, the biggest thing that I learned about leadership and is empowering your people.
Okay.
When you empower your people and you let them make mistakes, you know, because that's the hardest thing, right? Is to let someone make a mistake, right? Because you're doing it, you know, they're going to do it on your dime, right? But the thing is about letting people, empowering them to do something that they would have never been, you know, able to do otherwise. And you see how they flourish. You know, you see how excited they get in there. You know, when I get these kids that come in here that don't speak a word the first 3 weeks, don't look up, you know, they have their hair down. You know, like they're very shy kids. And then you see them a couple months later and they're teaching another kid a jab.
Right.
That's empowerment. That's empowerment. Where this kid was scared to lift his hand. He was scared someone was going to laugh at him. And he realizes, no, you know what? Because that's why I teach these kids. They're all powerful. You know, when my little brother was small, I remember when he was on Team USA, that was when Oscar De La Hoya was up there.
Okay.
And I remember him coming back and talking about Oscar De La Hoya. He was like, this guy's the coolest in the world. And you know what? I remember that too. I remember seeing camcorder videos of him. But what I always tell my brother is, like, well, but he's just a man. He's just a man. He's just like you and I. He wakes up every morning. He has bad days. He stubs his toe. He does, you know, the difference between him and I or him and you is how much work he's put in.
Yeah.
He's just putting more work. And that's why I try teaching kids, because like my son is a fighter. And my son, like when you look at him, he's intimidating. But my son will come in here and he'll work out with these kids.
Yeah.
He'll come in here and, like he'll lift them up because like I told my son, I go, the power that he has by telling them that, they'll remember that, and that's what we want to do. We want to empower these kids to help others, there are some people, I learned in the retail world, I learned a lot. There's two kinds of people. They're the ones who will use other people to walk over and to get ahead.
Yeah.
They'll use you as a ladder to step up. And they're the servant leaders, the ones who they'll climb a ring and pull you up and pull them over, and then you'll pull them back up. And that's what I try to do with all my kids and all my coaches. I'm trying to teach them to help each other. We're one unit. We're as strong as, we are with each other, right? That's what we're building right now. So.
And do you notice a difference in generation? Because it rings true to me when you talked about, you see this kids coming in and they're just facing down. They can't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And, I've been training for a little over 8 years, and I encountered that sometimes like a 15, 16-year-old, and you just go say hi. They don't even know how to shake a hand.
Yeah.
They don't even know how to look to you. And then, after a few months, something starts to flourish. Yeah. And for me, and regardless of what age you're at, whether you're a kid or you're starting this at 30, just getting in physical shape, getting out of the comfort zone of just eating trash and not doing any exercise, and just starting to do a physical activity, there's a mental change. It's like the body helps the mind to grow.
It does. It's like a snowball effect, because you start working out, you start feeling better. You want to work out more, you start doing it. And then, the other thing too is, we're all personal trainers here.
Yeah.
And so we know about the body. So like the other thing is I know how to stand them up, how to fix their posture, how to fix their shoulders. And, like 2 or 3 exercises.
Oh, we all need a little help with that.
Oh, my God. You know what? But we all do, because we don't know, right? And PE is not the same as what it was when we were kids, you know? I remember when I was a kid, they would smack you when you would run. Nowadays they ask you if you want to run.
Need to bring that back.
Yes, I know.
But not condoning it.
But yeah, it was different, right? And now the kids, they don't know how to stand up, and they just went through COVID. They've been sitting. Their backs are no good. Their shoulders are arched. Their necks are hurting. And so, some simple exercise that we give them here, it just changes them. You see them stand up, you see their chest pop out, you see their shoulders sit back, and you can see their confidence, like they start cutting their hair, they start pulling their hair off. And, that's one thing that I always look for. The second the hair comes away from the eyes, right?
Yeah.
Because you're right. Like, I believe that it's because of the cell phones that they can't speak anymore.
Okay.
Because they text. Because when we were kids, what do? We went outside.
Yeah.
Jumped on your bike and went over your buddy's house, pounded on the door. Come on, dude, let's go outside.
Exactly.
Shouted,
Yeah.
Now they're on the phone.
They got autocorrect. They don't even know how to have to spell.
They can't spell. They don't have to do anything, right? And so it limits them, so that when they meet people, they don't know how to interact. And and that's hard too. But that's one thing about this gym too, is I recognize that. Yeah. I know how hard it is to walk through that door the first time. Walking through that door is the scariest thing. I've had people walk by for weeks sometimes, and I'll go out and grab them. Like, dude, I know. I see you looking. Come here, get in here, right? But like you said, it's that fear. Like, well, you know what? When I go work out, I'm not in shape. They're in really shape, It's like people who want to get right before they go to church. No, just go. Right, just go. Just show up, dude. And like I show them when they come here, I don't care if you're in great shape, if you're running marathons or if you haven't worked out in 10 years, you're going to have a good class, because my coaches know how to work with you. And the thing here is not everybody's going to be a pro fighter when they walk out of here. But if you feel good about yourself, if someone encourages you, if you've broken a sweat and somebody high-fives you, you become a family. Yeah. And that's what we build here. We've built a community here. We have such great coaches. Like, this is something where like I really love watching my Instagram, because I don't control my Instagram anymore. And I just see like the things. And one of the posts that I saw the other day that really affected me, that really like it touched my heart. I was with my wife. I look at babe, we're doing it, was we have a women's class, because I recognize too that the women need their own space too, Yeah. And so we have on Saturdays, we have all women. And one of the posts that one of the ladies put was, the ladies I never knew I needed.
Okay.
And that was powerful for me. That was super powerful. Like they've built a community.
Yeah, it's the same with the kids. When there's a group of them, and then it creates this feedback loop where they can see everyone else is progressing together.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how you're building that confidence in all these different communities.
Yeah, it's been a rough ride for me, because when I opened this gym, I didn't have a nonprofit. I just created the nonprofit this year. So when we first opened this gym, I was just trying to make it on my own, but I went through COVID. I went through, 2 rounds of COVID I went through. And, you know, just the economy crashing, you know, so I've had every obstacle.
A lot of gyms didn't make it through that.
So. Oh my God, I thought I was going to be one of them. You know, there's been a couple of times where I've been sitting right there. I sat right on that Emperor looking outside thinking like, this is it. And, you know, but I've been blessed. I've had good people, you know.
I drive by this place a couple of afternoons a week, and it is mobs of
young it's people. Crazy
it's
now.
Packed, man.
Yes.
You've outgrown the space.
For sure, 100%.
Easily,
yeah. And that's really what, this gym is really difficult to make money because I'm so packed, I can't fit adults and kids in here at the same time, so I have to split them. Over there, I'll be able to have, my God, I'll be able to have them all running concurrent over there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We have so much opportunity over there. In fact, you know, I'd love to get you guys over there. To do a
we should do a little tour maybe.
Oh, I would love to have you guys over there.
Get a little behind the scenes before you build it out.
Oh, dude. Well, here's what I'll tell you. There has been no one who has walked in that building and walked out the same. It's almost like a spiritual experience. You're going to feel it. Because when you see how it's designed for the kids and when you see what we're going to do for them, you know, it is phenomenal. You know, when you
I love the big
dream,
big vision.
This is it. We're gonna make it happen.
Can you tell us a little bit about Beyond the Ring? So this is Coach's nonprofit.
Yep, this is our nonprofit.
Tell us where the idea came from and what you guys are. What's the goal?
So when I first started coaching again, so remember I was working at Target and all that, right? And I have a gym in my garage. So I'm training my son. Well, my other son bought a house. Mm-hmm. And when he bought a house, he needed a place to stay for a month. So they came and stayed with me. So I had all my grandchildren. And I had one of my grandsons who was getting picked on at school. And, you know, his mom doesn't want him fighting, which I totally agree with. You know, like I don't want them fighting either. But I asked her, well, can I just teach him, you know, just like, let me just work with him, you know, and let me just mess around with him, right? And so I started coaching him and I started doing a lot of the posture stuff, a lot of strength stuff, because he was really short, as was I when I was his age, you know? And one day I went to go pick him up and the teacher pulled me aside and she was like, hey, she goes, what's going on with Jacob? And I thought, oh man, I'm in so much trouble. Oh my God, he socked somebody like, oh no.
Nose,
I'm like, oh no, please don't tell his mom, you know. And I go, why, what's going on? She goes, he says he's been working out with his grandpa. And she said, and she goes, and I noticed his confidence has gone way up. And he's starting to talk more in class. He's starting to participate. His grades have gone up. And she goes, can I send you another kid? I was like, absolutely, send me another kid. So I started doing another kid. And pretty soon, when I was working at Home Depot at the time, and I would work from 5 a.m. to 2. I'd get home at 3, and I'd work from 3 to 9 every day because I'd have a full row of kids. But back then, I had money. So I was kind of doing it like, you know, when people couldn't pay me, I would just let them have it, right? What started happening, I started getting a lot of kids that really needed it. And I started getting a lot of heartbreaking stories. And pretty soon, like, they didn't have money. And I was like, don't worry about it. I got money. I got this, that. So I started doing a lot of it free. When I came here, a lot of those kids started coming here, but now I got to pay rent. Now my wife's not working. Now everything's different. And so I would do it as much as I could. So I've been kind of living paycheck to paycheck for the last 3 years because even when I make a lot of money, I just throw it back out there and I just grab kids and come on in, you know, the people can't afford it. And so I help them. Well, I can't keep going on like this, you know, so someone's like, you got to start a nonprofit and, you know, and get some money. So I never thought I'd be able to do it. But, you know, like God's just been throwing people in my life. You know, there's this one guy, his name is Alex, and he called me out of the blues. He goes, hey, I heard you're trying to start a nonprofit. I heard about what you're doing and I want to be in. He walked me through everything. 3 months later, I have now a nonprofit, you know, but now I have no money. I've got now 5 people on the board of directors. One is a captain of the fire department. Another is a fireman. Another one is you know,
from Hayward here?
From Hayward, yeah. Mm-hmm. All people who are seeing what we're doing, who are now involved. And we're now starting to work with, like, you know, politicians and, you know, starting to see what we can find at City Hall. So we have this fundraiser that's coming up on July 11th. Yes. And it's going to be at the Dirty Bird right down the street here. It's from 5 p.m. to 8. And I'll give it to you so you can post it on your site, please. Too. Yeah, from 5 p.m. to 8. And we're going to have, like, all the City Hall will be there. We're expecting a couple senators to be there. And what we're doing is we're getting the story out. We're getting it out. So if you're from Hayward, if you have kids who may benefit from this program, please come to this. It's July 11th, so next Thursday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. It'll be at the Dirty Bird. And
it's raising money so they can go to OST and train.
Right? It's raising money for them. Yeah, it's raising money because my goal is to make it 100% free for all the kids. Yeah. You know, when I was a kid, I didn't pay for it. And, you know, today with the economy the way it is right now, no one has $300 to send their kids to boxing for a month. It's something that everybody would want to do, but no one can afford it. And what I want to do is make it free for them. Now, over there, the difference will be that I'll have way more disciplines. And, you know, what I have is I have a music studio there ready for podcasts. my dream is to make a studio for them where we can have podcasts for them. Because, you know, today there's a lot of issues that kids can't talk about on the street.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of things that, you know, like people are fist fighting for everything now. You know, if you talk about politics, they're going to fist fight. If you talk about religion, they're going to fist fight. If you talk about countries, everything turns into a fist fight.
Yeah.
So the kids need a safe place to speak.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, whether you agree with it or not, you know, there's a lot of stuff I don't agree with. I don't care. They still need a place to speak. You know, they have a right. And what I want to give them is a podcast area where they can speak and, you know, and they could have their own voice, you know.
Yeah.
Bully-free zone. That's what I want. That gym will be bully-free, you know, and that's the dream.
Maybe a little bit of bullying, no?
Well, a little bit when it's mutual. When it's mutual.
When it's from the
yeah,
coach,
when it's
yeah.
mutual. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's funny, right? Because like I tell people that they're like, man, this gym must have a bunch of wimps. I mean, we have some good guys. We have some really good guys, but it's not my focus. My focus has really been the kids. Saving these kids, getting them off the street, giving them something productive to do.
Oh, don't sell yourself short,
Yeah.
Coach.
I mean, I do
You
have
train
some good fighters.
killers.
Yeah, I do have
And
some
your
good
son,
fighters. Yeah,
he's an LFA fighter.
Yeah, yeah. My
Tell
son.
us a little bit about your
yeah.
son. You know,
So
that leadership you
yeah.
gave for over like, you know,
Oh,
since he's a kid.
my
you know?
boy. Yeah,
How old is he, by the way?
He's 30 now.
Okay.
Yeah. So my boy, he's my baby, and he was like ever since he was a baby, he wanted to do everything I did. I was a Marine. He went to be a Marine. You know, I used to fight. He wanted to fight. But the thing about him was, boxing wasn't his thing. And, you know, I would try to coach him a couple of times and he didn't really like it, you know, but wrestling became his thing. When he got into high school, he started wrestling. It was just a natural at it, you know.
Right.
By the time he was a senior, he went to state, you know, and that was like a big thing. And, you know,
Yeah.
when he graduated, you know, he went to college and wrestled a little bit. And then he came home one day, he was like, Pop, he goes, I was thinking about doing jujitsu. I was like, yeah, dude, you know, like whatever he does, you know, I do. Because when he was young, him and I had talked about, you know, I had seen a lot of father-son teams destroy relationships between father and sons.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when my son, you know, when he kind of shied away from boxing, I mean, I've always coached him, I've always taught him, you know, but like that was our thing. You know, I told him, I go, son, I'll be your fan. You know, like I love you that much. I'll just be your fan because I don't want to ruin it, you know, because coaching sometimes will ruin that relationship. You know, sometimes, you know, when dads are overbearing, you know, they destroy that relationship. And I had promised him I wouldn't do that. So, you know, he trains with Gilbert right now, you know, which to
At El
me,
Nino,
oh
right?
my God, with me, you know,
With
Gilbert
Gilbert
Melendez,
Melendez,
I mean,
yeah.
the world champion, he's in way
If
better
you
hands
can't-
than
if
me.
you can't train with your dad, it's
Oh
not a
yeah,
bad-
no. I have
not a bad
no
second,
beef with
yeah.
that. Yeah. I
Shout
think,
out to
you know,
Gilbert, too,
Oh,
yeah.
Gilbert's the man, dude. Trust me. All those guys out there are monsters, you know. And so my
What a
son,
team, yeah.
Oh, what a team, yeah.
Scrap
yeah.
back.
Yeah. So you know, so my son belongs to that team, you know. But
And he's
I'm
a
his biggest fan.
155er?
155, yeah.
Yeah, they got Bryson Davis is 155. There's guys at that weight in that gym now
Yeah.
who are just killers.
Oh, he's
Monsters.
Vasquez.
Yeah.
They're all
Oh,
monsters.
ooh.
Yeah. They got Hyder out there over there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
That
right.
guy's a monster.
Yeah.
Oh.
UFC fighter, yeah.
Yeah. He
Nine
made
wins
UFC.
right now.
Yeah. He made it. Yep.
So and your son's like 3-1, you say? Or he's an LFA.
He's
Mainly, right?
I want to say he's 5-1.
5-1,
I want to say
excuse me, yeah.
I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, please
Sorry,
don't quote me.
son.
Yeah. But he right now, he's on a break right now because he just had his kid. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. But he'll be back soon. Yep.
You got any other kids that are fighters?
No, none of my other kids. My grandson, I think, is going to turn out to be one. Yeah, but I have a
Yeah.
couple fighters here, you know, and I have a couple female fighters. So I have Seta Betue, and she's my pro too. So that's the one who we'll be focused on next. And I have a lot of amateur fighters now that are coming up. Yeah, like I said, you know, the last 3 years have just been about kind of producing, getting the culture going. This is the year where we're going to start getting fighters out there. You
Get
know,
on more competition
Yeah.
for everybody. And
Yep.
you're going to have so many more students coming through there.
when I go over there, it's going to be incredible. I want to have shows there.
That's what you were telling me about.
Yeah.
You want to start promoting.
I want to
It's
start
time
promoting. Yes.
building outside.
I want to start building. So my goal is with that building over there to have, you know, events every week
Okay.
or every month. You know, so like have a wrestling tournament one month, have a boxing tournament the next month, have a jiu-jitsu tournament. You know, MMA. You know, just have shows there every month. Because what I want to do is, you know, downtown Hayward right now, you know, because of everything in the economy, you know, it's not thriving the way it used to. And we have some really good businesses down here. We have good people.
It is a great
Yeah.
downtown.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is
It really is. So much
Hayward's
potential.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And what I'm hoping is, you know, what I've talked to the city about is when we have shows, we're going to pull people from Sacramento, from Santa Clara, from San Jose, from San Francisco. We'll be pulling them from all over the Bay, and they'll be down here. And like, you know, that's one thing. Like, if we can get the right productions, you know, get it out there. We've got all these restaurants and bars that they can stay at all day. They can stay downtown, you know, enjoy downtown. You know, I was thinking about even coordinating with the fairs that we have. They could be down at a street fair and then come watch a fight. But
Hayward does it's like third Thursdays.
yes, the
right?
third Thursday.
Massive
Yeah, we
street
can do stuff
festival.
like that, you know. So I'm just looking to help us out because I do believe that just like everything else, just what I teach my kids, I believe we can do it from business to business. I believe that my business can help other businesses and vice versa. You know, we can get some of those businesses in there to help some of these kids. You know, like this bike shop next door to me is closing, and I'm gonna go talk to him about maybe doing some sponsorship because I want to have bike shows at my gym.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get all these kids.
What do you mean by bike shows? What do you mean?
So all these kids blocking the streets. They come out in the hundreds with their bicycles, right? And all the cars hate them. They want to run them over.
Oh, I love them.
Oh, yeah. See, for
Yeah,
me,
they're the best.
to me, they're just kids riding bikes. That's all they are. But I get it, dude. You're coming off work. You don't want to be behind this bike. But like people hate them, and I love them. And I was talking to the cops about it. I go,
I hate them.
well, yeah. Just because they're blocking your traffic.
Yeah.
But for me, the big thing is, what if they could have a show there?
Right.
What if we could have judges there? What if they could have prizes? What if some of these bike shops came in and instead of us trying to get rid of these kids, what if we welcome them in?
How big is this place?
Oh, it's enormous.
Man, we gotta check this out.
Wait till you see it, dude. Wait till you see it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
This one is how many square feet? Like
1,500 square feet.
1,500, and then you said that over there's
18,000.
18,000.
Yeah.
So you're talking about like almost 10 times bigger.
Yeah, 10 times the size. But we're going to use it, though. It's all planned out. Like, when you walk over there, you're going to be like, whoa, because I always worry it's going to be too small.
Yeah.
Well, it'll take us a couple years to grow into that. But, yeah, the vision I have is 10 years from now, that thing will be just like in and out, like constantly in and out. Yeah.
Standard.
Yes. It'll just.
What's your day of moving in?
So right now, we're still unclear on it, but we'll probably start moving in the next 3 weeks. And our goal for grand opening is September 1st.
Okay.
Yeah, September 1st.
That's a lot of construction. You got mats.
Yes, so we've got everything coming. Everything's now been ordered.
Whoa.
Yeah,
It's real.
It's real. Oh my God! Yeah, like I was telling Chris Paul that I was about to throw up right before the thing because I just saw all my loans went through. Like it's
Hey man,
yeah.
It's for service though. You're gonna be bringing everybody up by providing them with this space. It's a gift for everyone.
It will be, and you know what? Again, like my dream is to give back to the community, to save these kids, to have these kids up there because I'm telling you, we have good kids. They're bored. These kids are bored. They just need something to do. They need a place to go, and we currently teach at a lot of the schools. We teach at the majority of the Hayward schools, and we are teaching now in some of the Cache Valley schools.
You're doing boxing.
Boxing, yeah, we do boxing programs there, and and you see them when they're there. I always tell them come in, and the biggest problem is they don't have the money. That's where the nonprofit came from. I know I can fill that thing up. I know I can get 100 kids in there, get them off the street, get them moving, get them doing some productive stuff, and and there'll be a price for being there, right? And the price is you can't go out and be a thug, because that's why I tell my kids now, if I catch you fighting in the streets, that's it. We're done. I can't allow that, because we represent something bigger.
Right.
And they understand that. They understand that when they're wearing their shirts, they have to behave a certain way because we stand for something, So. Yep.
I'm excited.
Oh man, I'm excited
I'm gonna come
too.
train in there.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have you guys there. Yep.
I've been in a seminar a few years ago. You were teaching a boxing seminar. I'm not sure you don't remember, but I got a lot out of it.
Oh, there you go.
You're an excellent coach. For sure,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And obviously, like the community's gathering around to support you with this.
Yeah.
I perfected my hook. There was the whipping my hook. I keep it even to this day. It's because of that seminar we did.
Yeah, you had given me some tips on a catch jab drill that I still use. So.
Yeah. And boxing is, boxing's a collection of what you learn from other coaches, so everything we learn, we pass down, and that's the whole point. I try to teach my kids everything that I know. There's no secrets. I'm not holding anything back. I'm not scared that they're going to become better than me. I'm hoping they're going to become better. That's the point. They better become better than me, because I'm giving them everything I got plus what they got.
Yeah.
And, this is what it's become. It's become a melting pot, I have young coaches that that I'm allowing them to corner. When I was a kid, I never got to corner, but that's the empowerment I talk about.
Right.
Empowerment. Where like, no, you got to be an old man to be in the corner. No, dude, you could be a young kid. I want to get the dads in there. Like I'm trying to get a lot of father sons because that was me and Sal. But I never was able to do it because the coach. When you get in there, you got to let the coach do it. I encourage the dads to come out here, get their mitts. Get in there with their kids because, boxing is like a 1 in a million chance. The father-son relationship, that is, because that's the thing about me and my son is me and my son, we adore each other. We're pals. We're friends. We have rituals before his fight and after. I'll leave the training to Gilbert and all them. Those guys are better than me. I know my place. Those guys are badass. Mm-hmm. But the relationship that I have with my son, that day before, you know, that silence, you know, where I just give him a kiss on his head and pray for him, you know, where, you know, where I see him prepping, you know, I see him now, you know, that just that ceremony that he has, you know, that's what I want fathers and sons to have.
And I imagine that that's also like a source of energy and power, that connection that is, it's very hard to get, like not having that father in your life. Having that it's almost like a cheat code.
It is. Yeah. It is. You know, like there's nothing me and my boy don't talk about. You know, like, you know, we talk about everything. You know, and it's cool watching him. You know, because just watching him do it on his own. You know, that's the beauty of it, right? Because these kids all want to be their own people. Yeah. And we got to let them. You know, we got to let them. I think, you know, sometimes we try to control them too much. You know, we're too much. You know, like it's got to be my way. I'm smarter than you. You know, so it's got to be. No, we got to let them explore a little bit. You know, we got to let them fall down, pick them up, dust them off, send them back out.
Well, they get the discipline through the training.
Through the training, where yes. It comes out. Yes. You know, that's where they find it. You know, like, you know, I always tell people, you know, one day you're the hammer, one day you're the nail. Mm-hmm. There's some days these kids come out of there, they're feeling good. I go, careful, dude. Today you're the hammer. Tomorrow you'll be the nail, dude. I promise you, you know, and I always try to tell them, you know, that's why we got to be humble in the sport. You know, because we're always learning. You know, you'll never reach that point where you're there, you know? So like, you know, that's one thing I remember from all these karate movies. Like, you know, when do you get there? When you don't need it anymore, right? Like, that's kind of that's kind of what we want, you know, like boxing is about more than boxing. You know, it's the discipline. It's learning how to train. It's learning how to eat. It's learning how to get through frustration, learning how to lose. Yeah. You know, that's the other thing, you know, in amateur boxing, you know, like, you know, the decisions, you know, it's not pro boxing, you know, and you got brand new judges, you know, sometimes they make decisions that you don't agree with. I always tell my kids, man, you don't shake your head. You smile, you thank the judges, and you walk out, you know. We win, we lose, it doesn't matter. It's how we carry ourselves. You know, if you went in there and gave it everything you got, that's okay. You know, that I'm proud of you, you know. Like, I've been prouder of some people when they lost than when they won because of the way they behaved, you know, because, you know, the way they took it, right? And, you know, I just try, you know, that's what I'm trying to teach my kids, just good sportsmanship, how to be right. So, yep.
Man, you know, gyms take on the character a lot of times of the sensei, of the head coach, you know? Mm-hmm. And, you know, I can just tell it's always so crowded in here. You got a massive amount of people from the community. And it's just going to keep rolling.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait.
You're making such an awesome contribution, not just to boxing, but to martial arts in general here in the East Bay. It's a great legacy. This is legacy building is what we're talking about here.
That's what we're trying to do. I really, honest God, trying to build it, you know, and trying to make it like a catch gym for all the MMA gyms that are around, you know. Come in and get some work, you know, because like, you know, that's the other thing. If I can get some of these guys to come in here and start working out, the kids could see them, you know. And like I said, you know, I'm not after glory. I don't want to be the best guy in the world. What I want is I want my kids to have a chance. I want my kids, anything that will give my kids an opportunity to get ahead, that's what I'm looking for. So, yeah.
Is your outreach mainly here in Hayward, or do you want to?
Well, so I haven't put borders on it. Yeah. We're here in Hayward, but if you can get to me, you know, that's the goal. You know, if you can get to me, you need it. Yeah. We're
that's what's great about this location too, because it's all you have the 880, the 580. It's like you can come from anywhere in the Bay Area. It's a quick.
It's right at the main at 14th and A Street, right?
Yeah. It's the main. Foothill and A Street.
Yeah, the main Foothill.
Yeah, Foothill and A Street. Yeah. But it's like right on the corner. I mean, you cannot get more downtown than we are. We're the first building when you walk into downtown. Yeah. We're literally it. That's the downtown sign, and that's my building. So I'm very excited.
It's just like flashing forward like 5 years from now. You know, this place has just been popping. Got events every weekend, tons of students.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it.
Oh, God, it's going to be
vision, man. I like it. I like it a lot.
I've always thought big. You know, I've always aimed big. You know, I've always made it to the top. You know, I've never believed in ceilings. You know, like I've always believed, like, you know, if you want to do it, you can do it. You know, you just got to work that much harder. You know, you just got to bust through, you know, and I am... I'm unstoppable. You know, I'm 58 years old and I'm doing this, you know, and I'm doing this, you know, so my kids can see me and they be proud of their dad, you know, what he's doing, you know, so.
It's inspiring.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Coach Robert Osorio, thank you so much, sir. Good luck.
Thank you so
Congratulations
much.
on the new space.
Thank you so much, guys.
Check this man out at Osorio Training Center here in downtown Hayward. The new location will be open about September 1st.
September 1st, yep.
Okay, you can come check out the old location before they close their doors. It's a special gym too. But yeah, special coach, and thank you again for the contribution to martial arts here in California. It's a New Money Fight Club, and we're out with Coach Robert Osorio.
Thank you so much. Woo.